Oh,
It's the Mitch Show featuring Doug TeNapel.
We're doing a dual show, Mitch Show, Doug Show.
I stole his intro, and he's not getting it back. Mr. Doug TeNapel is here with us, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. This is kind of an impromptu get-together. We're going to talk some Bigfoot Bill. I hope you've all have heard about it. The link is in the description. This is the legendary creator of Earthworm Jim, Cat Scratch for Nickelodeon, let's see, The Neverhood, and of course Bigfoot Bill, and many, many other graphic novels and projects. Doug TeNapel, how are you today?
Thank you, Mitch. I've never been happier. I'm the happiest guy I know. I am. I'm on fire about Bigfoot Bill, but I'm also on fire just about that we are kind of independent comics guys going for it and putting together a business and having a lot of fun along the way. And that's what turns me on every time about comics is when you get into that story mode and you start drawing and you start creating. It's kind of always funner on the front end of creating it, even than once it's done, you know? So I'm happy. I'm thrilled. This is where I want to be. I get high as a kite doing this.
It is thrilling. It is thrilling. And it seems like there's a lot of guys who feel like their backs were against the wall. And what better time to swing for the fences when your back is against the wall and you're pinned in? It's like, I got nothing to lose. So I'm going to go into beast mode and deliver the best product I can deliver, dig deep and be as creative as I possibly can. Is that the mode that you've been in, Doug?
Yeah. Oh yeah. For quite a while, but on a new project, it's a new opportunity to get to kind of reset, rethink about your audience, rethink about your culture, and then tell the story that helps you sleep at night. That's kind of the neat approach. It's like a new beginning. And there's a lot of things that I do have to apologize for with my mouth, but there's a lot of things that I don't have to apologize for either. And all the things that bring us tribulation and bring us persecution, those are things I do not apologize for. Legit stuff I apologize for, but not for being a conservative, not for being a Christian, not for being in love with broad family stories. That's stuff that turns me on, and I'll go to my deathbed with that. I'm very proud of that. Very happy with that. Thrilled with our mission. How's that?
And it's if you're going to make some enemies along the way, I think those are the honorable ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I judge people not so much by the friends they have, because I don't slander people with their friendships, because we all have imperfect friendships. And that dirt don't come off on you. Guilt by association is a fallacy. It's not a good thing. I do judge people by the enemies they have. And you and I have all the right enemies. So that's always a good sign. More what enemies you have than what friends you have, in my view.
Well, I'm happy to be in the trenches with you, Doug. And I'm happy to talk about Bigfoot Bill, which I'm enormously excited about. I think it's going to be huge. And if you guys haven't checked it out yet, go check out the link in the description. I think Rainbolt is throwing it in the chat. He's updating us. Thank you, Rainbolt.
Thank you.
$78,106. And I think, Doug, you got a new announcement about a $90,000 stretch goal. Is that true? Is the rumor true?
Yeah, we are gonna blow up the print run right now. It's well, first of all, at 75,000, we crossed a threshold that gives every donor, and only the donors, a free playable demo video game of Bigfoot Bill. That's going to be the tough one to figure out. I have a crew of programmers and animators. These are top guys working in the industry that are friends that are going to throw us a bone and help do this thing on the cheap. There ought to be a tight playable game demo as a proof of concept that Bigfoot Bill is every bit as powerful of a 2D platforming character as Earthworm Jim. So he's going to run, he's going to jump, he's going to shoot, he's going to whip swing, and it should be pretty tight controls. So that's all that we're going to demonstrate with that demo, is one level. And I'm going to try to get like a boss level or something of the Mothman, who's the bad guy in the first book.
Awesome.
So it'll loosely tie to the comic, but I'm not bound to the comic. So that's at 75K. I am not going to ever sell that game, though we'll eventually be adding on other demos with future books. And then we'll hopefully one day launch a game, a proper independent. That'll need like a giant budget and to be a robust, full, huge 2D game. But I'll be building the team and kind of building our tools along the way, a little bit on each project, one little step at a time. So we'll arrive at that game start with a better beginning. So I have so many Earthworm Jim fans in going into this book that I felt like I need to give them a big thank you with that. The big announcement is that at 90K, which we're a ways away from now, we got to hit it by Friday, but I've seen miracles happen in the last 2 days of a project. We want to do a hardbound book. So instead of being a floppy comic, which I love floppy comics too, because those have their own tradition and culture. I don't mean floppy because it's going to be square bound, and real high end, nice paper book. But man, throwing a hardcover on that would just make it makes it last. It makes it, in my case, twice as valuable, more collectible, and again, only available to my Indiegogo backers.
I need to price this out. Is it much more expensive if you're at 60 pages, right?
64 pages.
64 pages. Does it increase the cost? Have you costed this out with the switch from perfect bound to hardcover?
Yes, it is a lot more. So but I'm not, if I can reach those numbers, I can safely do it. It costs more. It nearly doubles the cost of the book. It certainly doubles the value of the book, but it helps it hold its value is the main thing why I want to do it. And then the bigger hit is on shipping because of the weight. You've just now on every single backer upped your shipping, and I didn't necessarily cover that. So that's why you have to go up to 90K would cover that for me, and it would be fine. It'd be a great book. I'm thrilled with hardbound. Would be a blast.
You heard it here.
Those big Stuart Ang, art books that come from Europe and stuff, they're all more like hardbound albums. So I don't know if we're going to reach it. I hope we do. I'd love to do that. And I'm excited about that.
I'm going to price it out. We'll see where it goes. I didn't make those kinds of promises.
Yeah.
But
price it out.
I had no idea this is my first rodeo. I've never done my own book from scratch all the way through and printed it and everything. So I didn't know what I'm getting into.
It's a big ask. So look at your number of backers, because what happens is the guys in the lower tier are not overpaying so much. You know what I mean? But if you have way more backers, then that brings the cost of it down. So it is possible if you get up in the thousands, and I'm getting up there. I'm getting up in I think I'm up in the north of the 13 or 1400 range. I need to get in about the 1500 range is what I'm hoping.
1384.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
Any backer that comes in at any level, I welcome you on board. If it helps at all with the actual value, my first book I ever self-published was my sketchbook archives that I did through Kickstarter. So that first book was hardbound. It's basically a collection of my sketchbooks that I did. And I raised $115,000 for that. And that one was pretty easy to do the hardbound for. So I was up in that range. But that also was not a color book. You're doing color. Mine was a black and white sketchbook. It was a 250 or 270 page black and white sketchbook with a hardbound. And by the time we got up to 115, and I was able to do like leather cover, gold gilded edges, gold leafing, bookmark built in. It was a robust, but you can see pumping the value back into the book is what makes it maintain its value. Then I did a second sketchbook archives because I had another 300 pages that I could put together in a book. And I launched that one. That one raised $85,000. And I was able to do the same thing on it. I was able to get, because I'd already set up the relationship now with the printer and have a little more tight idea of what the shipping would be. I was able to, and that book was like a phone book. I mean, it was heavy, like international orders killed me.
Interesting. Well, I've got this project called the Futurists that I'm going to be doing. Butch Geist is going to draw it. And we actually just had a huge plotting session. Mark Pellegrini is going to do the script. And this book has danced around in my head for 10 years. And I've been posting art for it for 9 or 10 years. It's been just like a public sketchbook project. and I have an enormous amount of art for this one thing. And what I want to do is, like, 'cause I have a sketchbook for Red Rooster, but it's probably just going to be like an extra add-on, like comic book,
Yeah, that's what
like
mine
kind of
is. It'll
flimsy
be the
staple
same
bound
kind of
thing.
comic. Yeah, same
But
thing.
with the Futurist, I have an enormous catalog of sketches and concept art and character design and ink drawings. I want to do like a coffee table book as an add-on, or a leather bound, something like
Absolutely.
incredible. But I didn't know if it would be possible to do that in conjunction with the Indiegogo. But I guess if I put it at the right price, it works. So
And build it out as stretches. So you just go, this is the amount for the hardcover sketchbook. This is the amount for gilded edges, or for whatever you want to do, gold leafing on the cover or whatever. I mean, you can do, or you can just do hardbound one book, hardbound the second book. I don't know. It really doesn't matter to me, because I just like the feel of, I've got all these hardbound books. They're everything, they're all from Stuart Eng. They're all those European imports. They tend to do a lot more hardbound than we do. And I thought it was another way to separate my books from the other comic skaters, was to really, if I can up that quality, I really hope I can do it. I'm excited about it. I think we can.
well, that's awesome. Well, added value. That's awesome, everybody.
And, yeah,
So
and it helps my stuff hold. If you go on eBay and look up my sketchbook archives, a $25 to $35 book goes for $130 regularly, because I never sold them in stores, and I never did any of the other aftermarket stuff. The only way you can get that book is from that first printing. And that's what I intend to do with Bill for all 4 books. Is they're gonna buy that thing. It is gonna hold its value, and it just holds it at a little higher level if it's hardbound instead of floppy. So that's another thing where, if you're going in at that bottom tier, I can stand by that book. It will hold its value.
yeah, I that's kind of been something I've been very interested to see as these books start to deliver and ship, is what the aftermarket looks like. Because I really am concerned. I I I don't. You hate to make a claim,
Yeah.
but with the
Yeah,
print
I
runs,
can't make an official claim. So I'm
yeah,
very
but
careful with that. I
it'll
can
be
only show you
very.
what has happened.
Yes, and I do hope, and I think it will materialize, a very robust collector's market for these special Indiegogo projects, which is going to. My hope is that that the collector's market and the enthusiasm allow us to continue doing these Indiegogo style experiments with our own content, and then we can break these things down in second printings, or break them down in individual issues. We can find a broader market for these, but the people that are the core audience, the core customer base, are here because they're enthused, and they know they're getting something that's going to hold its value, and they are interested in having a showcase on their bookshelf to say, hey, I backed this
First
project
printing,
before it
and
was
you're
like,
signing them, first printed, signed, all that stuff. That's just the people who come into these indie campaigns, they want more value, because they could just go to a comic store and buy a $3, $9 comic that you know 10,000 people also own, or 20,000 people also own. They bought in some comic book store that's unsigned. That's not special. This is special.
yeah. And I think that special is important, and especially with what we're doing. I mean, that's I couldn't agree with you more.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be very fun to watch how the market responds.
Yeah. Get
So
them in.
what's your you have a long-term plan for Bigfoot, Bill? Beyond this 64-page special, 64 pages, everybody, hardcover, potentially at $90K. So don't miss out. If you haven't backed it,
It needs you. It needs
Yeah.
you to pull the trigger on the hardcover.
So do it now. I want to see the numbers move. I'm gonna leave. We're gonna talk for a minute, and then I'm gonna go over and refresh. And I want to see a sale or two, because I know not everybody here has backed Bigfoot, Bill, but I believe in it 100%. What are your future plans? Let's beyond the 64-page special.
The goal on everything, I don't create a character if it doesn't have the possibility of going into like an animated series, a toy line, and all that stuff. That's just how I've always designed my stuff, all the way back to Earthworm Jim. It's not that it has to become an action figure line, but it ought to be able to, if the market supports it. So I don't want to shoot myself in the foot by making a character that would be very hard to sculpt, or very hard to animate, or would have subject matter that would automatically rule it out of like a streaming service animated series. So that's kind of where my heart always is because I came into this loving, growing up in sixth grade and seeing Star Wars and buying those toys. Like Star Wars is kind of probably the modern template. Before that, it was Planet of the Apes, which I have a poster for back there. They made toys, they made a TV series and lunch boxes and all that stuff. So things like that, I just think it's what it gives you more than just a book, right? It's the book is adequate, but when you want to bring it into other parts of your life, you want the sticker to put on your binder, or you want a bookmark, even though you throw it in another novel that you're reading. Those are kind of reminders of the characters that are close to your heart. Now, that's what I like about it. So my hope is first to focus on the first 4 books. That's the number one foundation, has to be this book and the story, the backstory of who the guy is, why you're rooting for him, why you love him. And then the second phase of that for me is going to be a video game where we're going to do those demos along the way. That's it. Again, it doesn't guarantee that we're going to do a game in the future, but it means you'll get the 4 demos. Those are small tests that are safe. And so you're not going in with a $100 million game budget and go, I hope this character works. You're kind of laying a ground floor, and you listen to your audience and see what they're responding to first. And it gives me a lot more confidence in mass media to start approaching other mediums. By the time this first book is done, for sure by the 4th book, I'll take that around as a animated series pitch to Netflix and Disney, or a feature film. And so of the 16 graphic novels I've done, I've sold 6 of them into Hollywood. So and if you look at the track record of what most screenwriters write and what most novelists write, I'm in the upper echelon of percentage of things that I sell into Hollywood. And it's because I think about it from the very beginning that it could very well go there. So again, no guarantees on what happened with Bigfoot Bill, but I think it'll be a great animated series or a great animated feature film is my goal.
I think I think you're going to sell, I think you can sell big Kraken t-shirts and matching Kraken backpacks with tentacles hanging off.
Yeah, that'd be great. So I definitely have plans to do a t-shirt. I couldn't do it on this campaign. It was just, did you do shirts on yours?
No, not yet, but I'm gonna do some merchandising eventually, but I've just got too many fires going on at one time. Yeah,
I'll probably do it as an add-on for the 2nd book next year is what my plan is. It was just too much to take on this. I got to build. I didn't even know if the audience would show up, It's like I put this thing. I had a lot of confidence on Kickstarter. This is the first Indiegogo I've ever done. So just even changing the name from Kickstarter to Indiegogo, I was going, man, I hope my backers will come over. And quite a few of them did come over, but I really had to build a brand new audience. It's just kind of brand loyalty is a little different.
Right. So overall, let's talk about the experience on Indiegogo and your expectations and switching from Kickstarter here. Did you do a book on Kickstarter, or you did a video game?
I did 2 books, the sketchbooks, and then I did in January this year. I did 100 watercolors of little 2.5 by 3.5 inch watercolors. They're around here somewhere. Mostly of Earthworm Jim and some of my characters, but I ended up raising like $30,000 on that, just doing these 600 of these little watercolors.
That's awesome.
And then.
So what about the differences in your expectations, experiences? Like, what can you tell the chat?
Well, the video game that we did was called Armorkrog on Kickstarter, and that was my buddies ran that campaign, but I designed all the characters for the game, and that raised $975,000. So we almost raised $1 million, and the game ended up needing to raise probably about 1.5 million. Because it was a it was a puppet animation, huge game. Mm-hmm. And it really beat us up. So coming out of that, I like the idea of starting projects smaller. Like, it's why I'm being so cautious about the game, is I'll never go out with just like a brand new idea and just fire one out there and hope that a game works. Unless I had at least one full, robust, complete playable level beyond a demo, but like a full blown, huge level. So that's what I'm going to try to accomplish across the 4 books, is to kind of use each campaign and only give that game to the backers. So I'm not trying to put it in Steam and sell it yet at all. It's not that kind of a game at all. It's really just kind of a thank you to the fans. Then when it comes time to kind of bust out your character, there ought to be a lot more support for it, because you've started with this core group. They'll be showing back up for multiple books. They'll be showing up hopefully for a video game. And then if you launch a TV series along with that, which would not be independently done, right? That'd be going through one of the streaming services. Although I'm open to doing a series by myself too. I could easily. I've managed whole animation crews and hired all the members of a crew, and I direct all the actors and have done all the character designs. That I feel like I'd be even more interested in an independent model for that. Just run it through my YouTube channel. I mean, anything's possible now.
So are you going to stick with Indiegogo for future campaigns, or
yes.
So they converted you?
They did. They absolutely did. And Indiegogo has been, because of the contacts that you've helped me out with, but the Indiegogo has been very kind to me, where they reached out and actually talked to me about the back end of my campaign. They supported it through their newsletter and stuff like that. And I just go, oh, they know I exist. So just that they acknowledged me made me realize it was a company I wanted to work with. So I feel very good about Indiegogo.
Yeah, my experience has also been very, very excellent. And I feel like Indiegogo cares, which means they also care about their own business. And they treated me, and it sounds like they treated you like a partner, not just some Yahoo who was just setting up a campaign and making us a comic book. So, and that's the way it should be.
I felt like they weren't
we're
just
making
taking
them money.
They weren't. Yeah, that's what I felt like, is they weren't just taking my percentage and saying thank you, see you later. Yeah, it was more like you're making us a percentage and we want to help you out, and I appreciate that.
All right, Kaz 5166 sends a Canadian $2. Doug, would Bigfoot Bill be a suitable gift for a child?
Absolutely.
Do you have an age group that you'd recommend?
My books, I mean, for a very small child, it might be a little dark, because I do like having my action have a lot of suspense. So things like, there's one scene where Bill gets in a fight with the Mothman, and in fact, the page is on one of the updates, actually. The Mothman just plows him into a building, and so he gets knocked out and he's unconscious. And the Kraken has to decide if it's going to save him or not, because it really doesn't want to be, it doesn't want to help him. It's kind of the joke in the whole book. And he can't wake Bill up fast enough, so he decides to save him. But that's the kind of suspense where, some parents don't want their 4, 5, 6-year-old to read that. And I get it. I would say the book is appropriate for probably 8 and up, depending on who you are. I never had a problem with my kids reading a lot of comic books and graphic novels. The ones that had kind of risky information in it, I would just wait till they were in their teens to do it. So for sure, but all my Scholastic stuff, they market for 8 to 12-year-olds. And I actually think that's a little young for the material, because it makes the parents think, oh, this isn't for me. They go, I'll buy this for them because it's a kid book. My books are when I say they're for everyone, I have a huge adult fan base, probably twice as big of an adult fan base as the kids. But they can go into every public school. They can go into libraries. My rule is just like, there's entertainment that both parents and kids can watch that don't damage the kids. That's what I'm looking for. And to me, Star Wars is like the best example of that. To say that Star Wars is just for kids, I think misses what Star Wars is about.
Oh, absolutely.
But obviously your 5-year-old can watch it and they won't be damaged. That's what I'm aiming more for.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I try to, all my content, or most of it, I try to aim for the broadest possible audience. And I want, not all of it's available for little kids, but in the spirit of a Star Wars or a Indiana Jones, which had some adult content in it.
Yeah.
And it gave me snake nightmares for a year. but but otherwise, he remains my favorite hero, all-time hero. I was born in '78, so I was maybe a little bit too young. But it certainly made a big impression, and I think he was a flawed hero, but one with honor and all that kind of stuff. And it certainly made an impression on my life. Midnight Cherry TV, thank you for $2. What does Red Rooster think of hand washing? Well, I think he would be for hand washing, unless he's got chicken grease, because how else would he keep his hair
he wears gloves.
Sick back.
He does wear gloves when he crawls around the barn. I'm just saying. So he knows to put a shield around it.
Yeah, there is fecal matter all over the farm, so you do have to be careful.
And so roosters are some of the filthiest animals. We've actually raised chickens here in Tennessee. They are some of the filthiest, dumbest animals I've ever seen. So I'm just saying.
We didn't have chickens growing up or anything. My Elizabeth, she grew up. Well, she didn't grow up on a farm, but her grandmother, she was halfway raised on a farm, and she has all these stories of grandma going out and wringing the chicken's neck, and then it running around with its head cut off. And
the beloved Miss Tenaple did that.
Yeah, and then they'd come in and fry them up.
She'd go out and just grab a chicken and just wha-pow, and I'd go, because she's like the most gentle woman you'd ever meet. But like farm girls, man, when it comes to slaughtering for supper and then just like ripping feathers off and stuff, I'm just like, holy cow, that's just so brutal for how citified we all are,
It's very, very sexy.
Very sexy, yeah. Woman can fry it up, put it on. That was always Phil Robertson's favorite thing about Miss K, as he'd go, he'd bring home the hunt, and it might be squirrels, and she'd dress them all. Like that was his idea of a good woman. I love that.
That's Elizabeth's parents. I think the last time we were over there, they were talking about squirrel brains, which apparently are it's a hillbilly delicacy. Apparently a little bit sweet. I've never had them, and I don't think I'm gonna. I don't think my palate goes that far.
I'm not gonna try those either. That's not appealing. Maybe if they didn't tell me it was brains, I might try it.
There's also the mountain oysters. I guess everybody knows what those are.
Yep, those are testicles. Were a delicacy among where I grew up. Also on the farm, was they would have the firemen would have every year a big fundraiser where they would cook up a big mass of mountain oysters, and all the town would come out and just have a blast eating mountain oysters.
I don't know. Not for me either, but
I wouldn't try them either. That was beyond.
But what people are trying is a slice of Bigfoot Bill. We sold a few copies. $78,231 US, 1,388 backers. Any
movement of the needle helps, and it gets us closer to that hardbound book is what's turning me on. At 80,000, by the way, we're just $1,800 away from that. At 80,000, it's an audio commentary where I'm going to read you the entire book and give the commentary and explain the entire story of where I got the reference, what is happening in the story, what it all means, kind of thing. So it's like my director's commentary for the book, that you'll be able to listen and read along with the book with the commentary.
I'll love that
voices
idea.
And sound effects and all that stuff.
I think that's a great idea. I might steal that.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Director's cut.
Director's cut.
At 80,000, that's your 80,000?
Yeah, that's coming right up. So that's.
I like it. I think that adds a lot of value, and it's easy to provide. It's like logistically not too big a.
Yeah, you Dropbox them an audio file, they click it, and it's going to take me a couple hours to get through the book. So it really, if you think of what like a movie ticket costs or something like that, it really expands the value, and we'll definitely hit that one by Friday. So that's definitely going to be part of the campaign.
I'm going to add that to my futurist campaign. That's a great one.
The biggest problem I had with Bigfoot Bill was there's so much backstory that I couldn't fit it in a 64-page book. So I had to move like the origins of the main bad guy, Poseidon. I had to move that to the sketchbook. It's going to be in black and white. It's going to have its own, a little mini arc story in there of black and white pages that aren't in the book. So it really helps people see that there's, obviously the story can work just fine without it. And I might even put it in book 2 or something in color. but the black and white version will be in the sketchbook of the raw inks. And you can see a page of that down at the bottom of the campaign too. It shows you the kind of art that I intend to do for this book. Is I'm just trying to swing for the rafters on the quality. I want to do my very best work, and I'm excited to see what I'll come up with.
Kaz5166, thank you for Canadian $2. Why hasn't anyone started a documentary on Comicsgate yet? Well, I think there's a story. I think there's a compelling story here about what's going on with creatives that are sort of, like I said, had their backs against the wall and decided to swing for the fences, decided to deliver their best creative works like Bigfoot Bill and Red Rooster, and say, I can do this, despite people within their own industry turning their backs on them, castigating them in very cruel and unusual ways.
Yeah, slander.
Which I think we're seeing some of that today.
Yeah, today.
Extremely unfortunate and bizarre. And I'm angry. I'm angry, Doug, but I just try not to show it.
It's righteous indignation. I learned that from Andrew Breitbart. It's righteous indignation is what you have, because to not be those names that those people call you, and they hang that label on you and they hang that label on me, is they don't know us. They don't know us, Mitch.
No.
And so they're either evil or ignorant. And I'll give them a pass and say they're ignorant. But man, they gotta, when you throw those names around, you better make sure you know what you're talking about. Because
somebody's going to get hurt.
Someone's going to get hurt. One of us is going to get whacked by some crazy, anti-Comicsgate nut or something. And, it goes from being just mean tweets to jumping into real life. And that's when it gets serious. And I'm starting to see breaches into people's careers where they start just like gunning for your career and stuff. I've known those people for years now, so they've tried gunning for my careers. Lo and behold, I succeed all the more because it just puts a fire in my belly to produce even more excellent work. And people who love comics and people who love animation and love cartoons and stuff, they show up, and then a tiny percentage of your audience who are just so radicalized, they leave. But they're not gonna get your stuff anyways. If you don't represent, if you don't turn Ernie and Bernie or Ernie and Bert gay, they won't show up. They'll start boycotting Sesame Street.
Elizabeth sends me a brokenhearted text message, so she's listening.
Yay, our girl, our girl. I'm a big fan.
Somebody here had a nice comment. Let's see. Now the comments are coming in like crazy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the other thing, Mitch, and this is to my encouragement to Elizabeth too. You don't want to go through life having no hills or valleys to go through. And this is what tests a man's character: is what are your values, and when people treat you unfairly, how do you respond? That's an important thing for everyone to see also, is how you conduct yourself.
Absolutely. And, we can hopefully in the long run, that's what we'll be judged on.
Yeah. But you want everything in life to be fair, but it's not fair.
No, absolutely. No, it's definitely not fair. Young people, if you're in the chat, get prepared. It is very unfair. Burton Stacy the third just says 2 words: conceal carry. I don't think that is necessarily unwise. Just be responsible and be appropriately trained and responsible with your firearms. But not unwise. I'm very wise, here, you there. Thank you for $5. Squirrel gravy with just the meat is great. Here in Virginia, we skin the heads, boil them, and eat the facial muscle. Just don't like the brains.
Just past the brains. I mean, how big is a squirrel brain? It's got to be like the size of a pencil eraser, right? It's sweet, but you don't get much out of it, I guess. Are squirrels like known for their giant brains?
Probably the size of a small nut, I guess.
I would think it's smaller. I think it's like a pea.
It can't be too big, although the squirrels around here do get pretty good sized.
Okay, they're very thoughtful in your area. They're nearly self-aware. They're so brilliant.
Oh my gosh. So the vegetarians in the audience are just like
with apology. Oh, that was another thing, was when I did my first sketchbook archives, right? And we're aiming for these it started hardbound, then it goes gold gilded edges, and then you stretch up to bookmark. And then the final stretch was leather cover. And all of my vegetarian donors went nuts. They went,
Oh no.
what? Like, you can't, I'll pull my money. And I just said, look, for you guys, I will have the printer set aside 3 books for the vegetarians that have a moral problem with leather. And I did. I had them do a special print run of just 3 hardbound books that weren't leather. And they each paid $25 per book. Each of those books cost me $200 to
Oh
do.
my gosh.
And I did it because I felt like I threw this thing on them, and I didn't want them out of the campaign.
Oh, fascinating. So that's when you said leather, I was like, ooh, for the futurist, that's going to be so perfect because it fits the time period. It evokes that the sensibility, the sense.
Oh yeah, I love leather. I love it. But for people who have a moral problem with it, I'm not trying to get them off the campaign. So
agreed.
It'll cost you, but that's part of how you take care of your backers too.
Yeah,
there's always a special need. There's always a special order in there. You don't know this yet because this is your first campaign. There's going to be a handful of special orders that will cost you like 10 times what those people gave you to deliver. And that's just normal. That's part of the campaign too. It doesn't all fit into a box. Lives are messy out there. Try getting a book into Russia where they just go through all the mail. There were some books I'd send them 3 times.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and the international shipping, and then gave them a refund. So you got to take care of your backers. You do what you can, but the world is not fair, as we said before. It is not fair.
No, they will steal your copies of Bigfoot, Bill, if you live in Russia. So
I swear, the Russian post office, I think it's like their it's like their Halloween. It's like getting free candy. They just go through, they see a good item, they just go, oh, this is part of my pay as I take this home, and it just vanishes.
Yeah, we have a flatter that works with us in Mexico, Herman, who's a super sweet fellow, and another friend in Mexico, and we sent them for Christmas a whole bunch of hardback comic books that he helped us flatten and everything. And it was like, they told us like, well, it just might not arrive. And it was like, I mean, the books and everything, you were talking hundreds of dollars worth of material plus shipping. And we were just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, some of them have original art and original portraits. And I'm like, I don't want to paint this thing twice. And the guy paid you, from one of my donors for Bigfoot Bill is from Belarus.
Oh yeah.
And he goes like, you don't have to mail it to me. Just send me a digital of the book. I go, no, I'll send you one mailing at least. I'll try and we'll see. And then I'll send you the digital. How's that?
Yeah. Belarus. I think that's one of the last, like, I mean, they have like a strongman ruler. I don't know. I know a little bit about it, not too much. But
well, my flatter for this is from Czech Republic. So they're just, you gather up people from around the world. I have nothing but sympathy for people who live in other countries, and they're doing their best. But I'm just saying, you'll see this when you do fulfillment. There will be a handful of people that will be very difficult to get a book to.
Yeah, well, we want to serve everyone, right?
That's right.
So that's the commitment. Our comics are for everybody, and we need to honor that on principle.
Bring a smile to their face.
Django Manco, thank you for $5. I once saw a squirrel jump on the back of a bird and glide down on the bird's back to the ground. Secret squirrel.
Okay, that is genius. That is a big brain. He figured out flight. I can take an airplane down.
Do you have flying squirrels in Tennessee, in central Tennessee?
No, I think aren't those like Australian, like marsupials?
No, we have them. We have them in Arkansas. We had some that made when I was a kid. We had them like around our house. We don't have them really in Little Rock, but in Benton, Arkansas, where I grew up, we had flying squirrels that got in our attic. And the funny story, one time one of them like got in through the vent somehow into the house and got in front of a light. And my mother walked into the hallway and it was there like this in front of a light and casting a huge shadow. And my mom just freaked out. so hysterical.
They look
I
like
mean,
they're
she was
wrapped
in
in like a giant
hysterics.
fur sack. They've got the giant extra skin.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, and it was like this with its like flappy skin wings on the side, and like it was. Oh my gosh, it's a hilarious story to have. I mean, they're not
I
very. They're
did not know
smaller
they
than
were
regular
here.
squirrels. Oh yeah,
Like a sugar glider kind of thing. Those things that they.
some. It's. I don't think it's quite that small. But they are smaller than regular squirrels, and they can glide. I've seen them jump out of the attic and or out of a tree and jump from tree to tree and all that. It's wild.
Yeah, yeah. I love it.
But they're around here.
I love animals, man. I'm way into animals. They crack me up. The variety in nature is profound.
Yeah, isn't it wonderful? And how like each unique environment breeds all these special creatures.
Yeah, and you can study them forever, and you won't find the bottom of them. I mean, their habits are amazing. They're complex. Their socialization is crazy, and it's the variety. It's like you'll never get to the end of the variety of the animals on Earth. They're like a forever puzzle to figure out. I love it.
Yeah, and it's like a never-ending experiment. Well, it's a great planet to be on for sure.
We lucked
I'm
out.
thankful every day. I'm
Yeah,
thankful every day, despite some of the madness that occurs, and most of it's our own humans and our own damn
yep.
faults.
Humans have the greatest capacity for good and evil, and that we're the main animal I'm worried about. That's the one that I'm most concerned with.
Yes, certainly. Although, I'm happy the dinosaurs are gone.
Yeah, that's
I can
probably a
live
good
without
move. It's like great white sharks walking around on land. I'll take less of those.
them.
There's only like, they've already ruined the ocean just with I go and I body surf, and I'm terrified every time I go in the ocean, even though there's very little chance I'm gonna get hit by a shark. But just imagine if those were walking around on land. Great whites on land would be.
Yeah, that's what I think about. I'm not a beach guy. Well, I mean, I'm a land, yeah, born in central Arkansas. So it's like
Yeah,
there's no ocean
you're
anywhere
land
around
bound.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going to the ocean actually kind of freaks me out. And I haven't been to I've been to the beaches in like South Texas, like Galveston. And it's like it's kind of, my experiences weren't like the romantic like beaches,
Right.
like
It's gross
beautiful
because
California sea.
it's all oil shipping and
Yes.
derricks, and yeah, it's gross down there.
Yeah, and it's like, well, that was my experience of the ocean. I think I don't see what the big deal is, but I understand like some beaches are absolutely extraordinary. We're gonna take a cruise sometime later this year, and it's gonna be
Oh,
our
you
first.
guys will love it.
Yeah, so finally we're gonna go to
You'll
some
love
good
it.
beaches, I think, and
That's wonderful.
yeah, I got to get over my dislike of the beach. I just need to go to some good ones.
Yeah, if you're going somewhere tropical, you ought to get scuba certified. I got to do that too. We're going to Fiji for Thanksgiving, taking the family to Fiji. So I'm going to get scuba certified by then. I've done some scuba down in Mexico, but I have to actually get my proper license this time because I'm going to go in deep in Fiji.
Everybody's agreeing with me. And Galveston is awful. Can confirm. Houston is gross.
Yeah, I taught at Houston Baptist University for 4 years. So I flew in and I would hang there, and that's a great town to visit and a great town to leave.
Well, every summer we have aunts and uncles in Houston. So every summer we'd go down. We'd leave hot and humid Little Rock to go to hot and even hotter and more humid Houston in the middle of like July. And it was like, this is family vacation.
The ground smells in Houston when the sun hits it and it boils up all that humus and tar and stuff that's under the ground. It just smells.
Yeah.
They have good food.
I agree.
They have good food.
Yeah, it's a great place to get a steak. That's for sure.
That's right. You got to look at the bright side wherever you're at,
Yeah. Speaking of the bright side, what do you see in the bright side of comic books? I mean, I don't want to dwell too much on the negative, but what's positive about what can emerge on the other side of sort of this temporary insanity?
Yeah, we're all getting it wrong if you look at the temporary insanity and think that's at all representative of comics. It is not. It's a tiny backwater problem that we're having today that comics will survive long after all this stuff passes. We'll still be making great books. That's not threatened. It may be threatened that you do them for a big company, but but I just don't like putting my fate in the hands of other people, maybe that don't share my values or don't have my passion for comics even. Why would you put comics in their hands? So I feel like that's what I love about Indiegogo is it's allowed me to connect with my own independent audience, with my own backers that bulletproof me from companies. Like suddenly, no one can tell me what I can and can't write. No one can cut off a through line to readers. Um, so I see only good ahead, and including even having this freedom with a YouTube channel. Television networks can't stop you. You have the most powerful television network right now at your fingertips, and it's free, worldwide distribution. Can you imagine growing up that you'd get to have that to put on the Mitch show?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's amazing.
this is amazing. We're in amazing times for creators. It's actually never been easier to do a comic.
Yeah, and there's definitely some negative and terrible people out there that would love, that are obstructing people like Mike Miller.
That's right.
Myself from going to conventions. I think
That's
this is good. I think that is going to be permanent. But here we are every day. We can have these kinds of conversations that two creators might have at a convention, but 200 people can watch it. 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 people can watch it over time.
Yeah. You and I can start our own convention, man.
Yeah.
We can have.
It's like they kicked us out, but like kicked us into the loving arms of an amazing customer and fan base.
Yeah. Well, and you don't make at a convention what you made on your book through Indiegogo. Indiegogo is a better convention. So I'm just saying, the conventions need us. They should want us to be there. You know what I mean? We help fill it out. And if they want to turn their back on me because I stand next to Mike Miller or I stand next to you, then I don't want to be at that convention. They're immoral. They're immoral. They're totally, or not immoral, but they're ignorant is really how I put it. It's they believe lies, and there's nothing you can do about that. People who are misled, they're misled.
Yeah, well, it's very unfortunate. My heart breaks for Mike and his family.
Yeah, mine too.
And for everybody that this sends a signal to going forward. I think this is an extraordinarily short-sighted thing for conventions to do. And like I said, I don't want to dwell on it too much, but I'm certainly angered.
Stupid. It's stupid. You're angry and I'm laughing. I just think they're so dumb that it's pathetic. And Mike Miller is a great guy. I'm laughing. I can't imagine who would square against that guy and say, you can't come to our convention. I'm sorry, but that is so stupid that it baffles me. And I would only tell Mike Miller, because he did great on his Indiegogo campaign. I just say keep doubling down on that. The more they kick you out of conventions, I would keep bumping up your Indiegogo to cover any revenue that you lose and any fan base that you lose, because these people come behind you and care. And the conventions who kick you out do not care. And that is not your core audience. And yeah, it's just, and we live in a divisive culture now, right? So all of culture, this is a leftist idea. Leftism demands its giant frigging tentacles getting into every aspect of your life. It grows into your brain like roots. It grows into everything that you love, your music, your video games, your comic books. It crawls into Ernie and Bert. You know what I mean? Like nothing is off limits. They just, until you're drinking Coke from a leftist spigot, they're not happy. Yeah, they literally want it to be, they want to politicize everything where politics do not belong.
Yeah, well, I agree. And I certainly, I know personally, I need a moral code. I need a set of values to adhere to that are consistent. Yeah. And so that I can find trusted friends that share those values. And I know that they can be trusted.
And Mitch, just light the torch and hold it up. Hey, everybody, we're over here. We're over here. And because the bad guys have always been there. They've always been there. They've been quiet maybe, or maybe this week in culture, they've been given a little bit of a bigger microphone. those people will go away because their message is false. The truth has a way. Ooh, there's Mike Miller.
All right.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Mike. Let me read out my super chat real quick. Kaz5166, thank you for Canadian $5. I'd love to see you guys at a convention, but this is entertaining and interesting. I love these shows. Mike, what do you think about that?
No.
Well, there you have
False.
it. False. How you holding up, buddy?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm not. I just think it's all rather silly.
Yeah.
Good man. Good man. That's a correct answer.
Isn't it?
Yeah, we were just talking about you getting bumped from a convention for their immoral reasons and their ignorance. And I love seeing that you're happy. I'd be furious if I saw you sad. I'd be furious. Don't do that to me.
Always making me sad, Doug. Why you
I
always?
know I'm always making you cry, right?
I know it's your job. It's not their job.
I know. I want that all to myself. Nice try, Comic Convention. He's loyal to me. He's loyal to me.
Hell's Bell is reminding us that Alternaween is up on Indiegogo. Now, this is I think I need to check this out. This is Peter Smetty's Alterna. They're doing, I guess, a Halloween style Indiegogo campaign comic book. Anyway, I'm going to check it out. I like Peter a great deal. So everybody check out Alternaween, check out Bigfoot Bill, check out Lone Star, and check out Red Rooster. Thank you all very, very much. I mean, you guys are making this for us. March Hare, thank you for $2. Mitch, could you give a bump to Alternaween on Indiegogo? I beat you to the punch, buddy. But thank you for $2.
Boom. That was easy. That was prophetic.
Yes.
Mind reader Mitch, only on the Mitch show.
Well,
what's going to happen 5 minutes from now, Mitch? Think about it for a second.
I'm going to boot Doug to Naples from the Mitch show.
Prophecy. Mike, what are you drawing
now? So he no longer needs you, Doug.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You can cover for me.
Tell us what you're up to here, Mike.
Oh, this is a promo piece for a new project called The Nuclear Family.
I heard about it. I heard about it from Mitch.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun little thing. I also got some new pages in from my artist, which look pretty cool. They're still layouts / breakdown stage, not final inks. And I was going to show them, but there's so much kerfuffle for some reason on Twitter today.
Yeah.
It seems like it would be a bad day to try to premiere some new art.
Yeah. They'll suck the wind out of your sails. You don't want that.
Yeah. So I will keep my powder dry there.
Yeah.
How many members of that nuclear family are you drawing? How many people are in the family?
There are only 4, but the father is a multiple man. So he's got 3 clones right here. See, each of the clones is a facet of his personality.
Okay.
So they, when he needs someone, like in my little vignette, 4-page vignette that I'm having my artist work on for Indiegogo, he needs to come up with a plan really quick. So he pops out his logic clone to try to cut through the emotion of the moment.
Cool.
Right.
And the kids always avoid the disciplinarian dad. They're like, oh man, it's him again. Get out of here.
He doesn't pop out the anger for discipline. So no.
Okay. Good. Because that'd be a real down if the kids go, oh no, him again.
Well, I guess his wife is an extraordinarily happy woman.
Oh no, that's only one dad. Only one.
There's the Eros dad.
Eros dad, the romantic.
Yes.
The romantic. He's the one that always remembers to bring flowers because all the other dads forget. The other ones.
Oh my gosh, do you remember Bedazzled?
Yeah.
Did you see Bedazzled?
Yeah.
When's that darn sun gonna set? That guy with the emotional guy.
Yeah.
You could do one of those too. It'd be so funny.
I mean, I love it, Mike. I think we all harbor this fantasy that we could, if there were only 2 of me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. See, that's why I made the dad. That's why I gave the dad that power, because like every time I'm asked by my kids, which I get all the time, what superpower would you want? I'm always so practical about it that I'm like, man, so much I want to get done. I really
Yeah,
want
honestly,
more than
I don't
one.
ever remember asking you that question.
I'm not talking about you. It's the little ones.
Yeah, talk to the other dad, son, the understanding one. This is non-understanding drawing dad. This
So
is
what are the?
this is neglectful dad.
There you go.
Can you give us a quick overview of all their powers? Just the real quick one.
Well, we've met Dad already. Mom has sort of a empathic empathic telepathy, I might call it.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to just go down the standard route. So like the daughter, she's the powerhouse on the team, but it's not because she's strong, it's because she can manipulate mass. So it gives her the ability to make things that would seem strong, like, you know, she can carry a car, but it's not because the car is 2,000 pounds. It's because she touches it and it becomes
Feather
1
light.
pound, right?
Okay.
So she can lift it, throw it, as it leaves her hand, it can become 2,000 pounds again. And then,
Wow.
and then the son, oh, crud, how did that happen?
What'd you
I hate
do,
that.
Mike? You're
Got a
ruining your.
schmutz. Damn it, Doug.
You're expressing yourself with your brush again. Don't do that.
So the son, since she is matter, he is light, so he can manipulate the electromagnetic spectrum in various ways.
And his eyes are glowing.
Wait, that scientifically doesn't work.
It's a comic book,
No,
Elijah.
with the mass thing. Because you have a certain
Doesn't
velocity
matter. It's a
whenever you're
mass.
throwing, and if you were to change the mass as you're leaving the hand, it wouldn't have as much energy.
Well, unless she like temporarily has created some type of multi-universe black hole extra
That's right.
dimensional
It is-
thing.
They are interdimensional powers. So
Yeah, don't you have a
boy.
Teen Titans to go watch? What are you doing?
why don't you go complain about Changeling? Oh, they don't call him that anymore. I forgot. Showing my age. But yeah, so they got their power because Dad is an inventor. So it's kind of like it's like a cross between The Incredibles and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And the dad is an inventor. He created this machine that uses these interdimensional powers to create essentially three-dimensional photographs. They're not holograms. They are actually physical.
Cool.
And they're like, but they're just photographs. So it's like you can't bite into the apple and taste the sweet nectar of the apple. It's just like a 3D photo.
I see you haven't fixed your bandwidth problem.
Yeah, that sucks.
I just keep getting caught up in Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter
drama,
wars.
so I can't
Yeah.
call AT&T.
Yeah, well, we have to get out of this vortex because that's their vortex of negativity that's created to suck us in, and we have important things to do and important people to please. Everybody here in the chat, almost all of these people are customers, I think, of one or if not all of our projects. So we gotta just let these people just flip out on their rage into oblivion. And we'll sit here and talk, and I'll talk about Matt Hayes 2000. Thank you for $5. I'd like to see more advertising on social media, books, merchandise, online stores, prints, etc. Daily advertisements, but watch for crooks and hackers. I think he's talking about us advertising our stuff. I think that we would, let's do that. But what if we are the crooks and hackers?
Yeah. What if we're a double agent? Never us. Not me. I did buy some Facebook ads for my Indiegogo today on your recommendation. I did to see if it would change the numbers, and it's actually working pretty well.
Oh, good. I bought Instagram. I focused on Instagram, where I have a pretty decent reach, and I think it worked out. You buy those through Facebook.
Use Facebook? Your Instagram is connected to your Facebook. Did it drive the ads just to Instagram? Yes,
the ads were on Instagram.
Interesting.
I think we did a Facebook ad or two as well, and I think they did okay. They just did okay.
Yeah.
Twitter stunk. Those ads, I ran one ad and it didn't do much.
Oh, good to know, because the Twitter guy just reached out to me by email going, I want to talk to you about ads. And I'm like, oh, maybe I won't talk to you. Maybe I'll go check out Instagram instead.
Mike, you did YouTube ads, right? So have you still running? Have you been good for you?
Well, I have them running to my YouTube page. That's the thing. So I don't know how it would translate, but I mean, man, I'm at 2,800. I guess close to 2,900 subs now. So I mean, my sub count goes up daily, regardless of if I'm on shows or not. So I think it's working.
Yeah, is there a way you can track it where you can see where the subs came from? There probably isn't, right?
I don't know.
But
No.
did you notice an
I'm
uptick?
getting a lot of freaking clicks, though. I mean,
Yeah.
on the ad itself. So it's not bad, and that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, because the long-term goal of my advertising is to build my channel up.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the more, that's the better way to actually advertise your future Indiegogos is by just having a larger sub count of people who are going to come and watch you every day.
Sure.
Go ahead. Let's pitch out your channel, Mike. This is a good time to do it.
I am Blacklist Universe, and if you guys were there last night, you would have seen Mitch on there with us on the drawn and quartered art competition. We do a weekly art competition with various professional comic book artists like Art T. Bear and Kanan White and
They're fantastic too.
Elliot Fernandez and last night Mitch was there too. He lost, alas.
Well, so did you. So
we didn't want to mention that.
I'm a loser.
Okay, don't rub it in.
But gosh, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. It's just a bunch of guys drawing and talking adequate amounts of smack about each other. Just a good old time. Once a week, every week, and then also we do the Aloha Hour every night, which is except Sundays, which is just a very chill thing. And also, I'm going to be starting, and I started today, to do Game of Thrones sort of video vignettes because, as I guess I haven't focused enough on, I am actually the artist on the Game of Thrones comic book covers, so
Sure. That's fair game.
I guess that's a big deal.
Yeah, someone keeps telling me about that show.
Ethan's in the chat. Says, "Oh hell yeah! Hey Ethan, been a while, buddy. Let's talk soon, and hope you're doing well. We're probably not going to talk here too much longer, to be honest. I got to get on home and do some dinner, or else I'd bring him on.
You got to go live life.
I do, but yeah, we need to get on stream with Ethan. Ethan soon. So hope you're doing well, buddy. Doug, what's your YouTube channel so everybody can sub to Doug? You got 4,000 subs now, right? I mean,
yeah, you're doing great interviews. Mark, I was thrilled to jump over that marker. It's Doug TeNapel is the channel, just my name, all one word, Doug TeNapel on YouTube, and I do a thing called The Doug Show. So Doug TeNapel, and I've got today I did it was the Wang channel. He's a big heavy metal guy. He's got like 160,000 subscribers. He came on and he started just shredding on my show.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I got him to play the clarinet for the first time in 5 years. So he played the clarinet on my show. And we just talk about life. We talk about, I actually like bringing on non-believers about talking about faith and politics and work ethic and culture. So I've had him on. I had Dick Masterson on from the Dick Show. I had Maddox on. They had this giant, long time internet war going on. I had Mumkey on yesterday. Just fantastic guys. Really fun interviews. I've had Ethan Van Sciver on. I've had Mitch on. I still have to have Mike Miller on to his dedicated show, which we got to hit that because that'd be a blast.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I do groups of guys and sometimes I do individuals. It can just be a art jam room or whatever.
Someone's going to cut that out.
What's that?
What you just said.
What did he just say? I didn't catch it.
Never mind.
Okay. Well, we better not revisit it if we're all going to get
Are you
cut
trash
out.
talking me? Are you trash talking me? I'll tell you one thing. I know why you didn't win your competition. Look at your image. Look at your camera. How are you going to win something when you're looking at it through a 1990s dial-up video?
Yeah,
No.
the bolder images are doing better, and I think it's because people are seeing everything so pixelated and whatnot through these live streams. So I'm going to change my strategy for next Tuesday. That's for sure. I'm going to do big, brushy, bold blacks and
And you'll
be more
beat 'em.
expressive. Yeah,
What's weird is that camera is high definition. That's actually what the art looks like. He draws with this bad pixel splatter brush.
It's fun. You know?
Michael McLaughlin, thank you for $10. That's you honor me. So you bought Red Rooster for my niece and nephew. Looking forward to it. Please tell us about the Futurists. Loving the art at everyone. We need to get you all at local conventions. Please make it happen. Yeah, I think maybe perhaps the only way forward at this point is to do our own unique signings and events, and I think that hopefully that's in the cards for 2019. I sure would like to see that happen. It's very unfortunate what happened to Mike today or last night.
What a ripoff!
Very regrettable. I just, like I said, I feel angry. I just am.
Yeah. Righteous indignation, man. It is they are rooted in ignorance when they're gunning for Mike. They don't know what the heck they're talking about. No. They soiled their own pants on that one. And you know, I kind of have a rule where I don't try to change the entire internet. You can't change. One guy can't go out and change what the entire internet thinks. You just gotta live your life as best you can and realize that the internet, there's a lot people can choose to believe lies if they don't do their own research. And in this case, you know, welcome to culture, Mike. Welcome to culture. I've
been fighting this war for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. I love seeing your happiness, and I love seeing you be positive, and I love seeing you work, because they want to stop you from making art. They want to cut you off. They want you to be angry and soil and ruin you. And screw that, dude. We're the happiest people we know. Screw it.
Yeah.
Well, I
don't have that power over me.
I love that I'm here with you guys. I love that we've got some really cool people around us, and obviously some great customers. Yeah. Numero uno, and lovely spouses, supportive families.
Oh yeah, dude, we're family men. We're family men.
Yeah.
Our spouses are fantastic. Like the wind in our sails and our inspiration. They're our muse. I love that. I know you guys are happy because you're happily married. That makes me happy.
All right, custom song maker. Thank you for $5. Doug, how are you getting these guests? Fancy Hollywood agent? Dick Masterson is famous from the Dr. Phil show and his books, and his book Men Are Better Than Women. Well, that's a bold title.
Yeah, he's a bomb thrower.
How do you do it, Doug?
I go through the contacts that I know. I know so many people over these years who I've worked with. I had Patricia Heaton on, who was the wife in Everybody Loves Raymond. She's a big celeb. I'm trying to get John Heater on from Napoleon Dynamite. He's an old friend. Doug Jones. We're getting those people in. What I really like is kind of the internet guests are fun. And I've even invited my chat on the show. Like I'll pull audience members and just go, "You're coming on the show."
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm one of the few shows. This is my other argument against the convention, Mike, is these channels are a convention where fans can talk to their creators in a more intimate way, and they can reach out to you every day instead of just once a year.
Yeah.
It's like, this is going to become the new convention unless the conventions behave. And if they start treating you like that, it's going to be, I want all the other conventions that want artists like us to still come. I want them to go and condemn the convention that bumped Mike, because I want you to know that that doesn't fly well with fans, and it doesn't fly well with good people to start censoring content over lies. Okay, over lies. It's different if Mike actually was what anyone ever said about him, and I've seen what they say about him, and they're lies. I know these guys personally. They're you got to be careful conventions. How you conduct yourself, because I like meeting the fans, but you know what? YouTube is too easy of an alternate for you to mess around with that stuff, with those lies.
Yeah, I agree. And I can't wrap my head around anybody that would just believe something on the internet and then run with it. And impugn people like that.
Yeah.
It just is beyond my code of conduct internally. So
They've
it's
certainly
not
never
consistent with
watched
my
Mike's
values.
show. The minimum due diligence should be that they should have to watch Mike's show. They should watch your show. They should watch my show. What hateful thing have we said in this
Yeah.
entire campaign? I mean, like, this is a bunch of regular guys. I mean, frankly, we're kind of boring. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's not.
Did you read the letter? that
I
they
read some of it. And
Yeah.
I couldn't.
mean,
it was stretch. It was such a stretch.
Well, it was not just a stretch. It was hilarious because he wrote that my great offense was referring to the guy as a Nigerian prince, and
Yeah.
he's like, "There's no evidence that this is the man who's been responsible for cheating all those people." Like that was.
Whoa! I didn't miss that. Wow.
Yeah, you know, the general statement that everyone says about the Nigerian prince in emails. They called that a racist comment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The guy came on and was extraordinarily rude, and wow, that's well, I mean, the video is there for all the context, but people aren't interested in context. Well, not some people aren't interested in context.
Yeah, the broadest people are not that interested in context. They won't do the homework. It's too easy just to accept, you know, to eat what's put on your plate.
Yeah.
And you can't afford to do that anymore with internet culture the way it is, where fake news is running around. You can't just eat what's put on your plate. You got to do your own research, make up your own mind. All the information's out there if you look hard enough.
See, this is why this kind of thing is why I am so freaking. I don't know. Lying is like my number one thing that I hate.
Yeah.
And this is exactly why you can destroy someone's relationship. You can destroy the relationship someone has with other people. It is like a virus that you set loose on the world. And you know, like they say, a lie can be, you know, around
the lie can go around the world before the truth can get its pants on. How it goes. But you know, the easy days are behind us. The easy days of just kind of show up, draw, everyone comes and applauds, and there's no political involvement. Those days are gone. Now, you do have to grow and nurture your own audience, because you can't take a risk of having someone else with a lie just rip your audience away from you. So the people who follow me, who are in my audience, they trust me. They know that that if I make a mistake, I'll own it. Mm-hmm. And if I don't, that no one can get me to confess, and no one can get me to apologize or throw any of you guys, my friends, under the bus. It'll never, ever work. I won't do it. And that just develops a different kind of audience, a much deeper, much more actually friendly, principled audience. I want a principled audience. And so it means I'll lose a lot of the audience that are just reading lies about whatever on the internet, you know. And then that's going to get worse. That demarcation is going to get worse. I just think, I don't mean worse, I should say it's going to get better for us, because I think a bigger and bigger audience of principled people who like good comics are going to find you guys, and they're going to follow you, and they're going to throw their money behind you all the more. Yeah.
Well, speaking of throwing money behind things, Bigfoot bill, $78,498.
Oh, just $2 from the 78.5.
Yeah, 78.5. Somebody out there in chat land, get over there and throw Doug over 78.5.
Yeah, let me break out some tiers. I've got
79. Let's break.
I've got a 2-book and 2 sketchbook tier. I just had a library in Dubai bought that one today. The librarian told me, I love getting my kids books that they can't find elsewhere, and I was really thrilled to know this is going in a library in Dubai.
So I found out that there's one comic book store in Dubai. They did an article on this. I'm going to reach out to these people because it's one single channel, and they're really enthusiastic about comic books, and they have a very dedicated comic book culture. And there's essentially one hub for comics. So I think it's worth just a phone call to this comic book store, or an email at least, or something. I mean,
did you do a book bundle for stores?
I did, but I didn't really push it that way, because I mean, I called it like a big family pack or whatever, or I
yeah.
called it the bucket of chicken pack.
Yeah.
Where you go, I should have offered it a steeper discount if I had to do it over again. I would.
How many copies did you put in that bundle?
6 and 10. I had a 6-piece and a 10-piece bucket of chicken.
And what was the discount on the 6 and what was the discount on the 10?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay, well, I can look at your campaign. I have Google.
Well, I've taken it down now. Oh yeah, you could look up the history. I could dig in and I'll dig up the data.
Just text it to me when you get it, because I do want to. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I don't care.
Yeah,
they'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I did a 25 for 250, so half off the unsigned version.
Yeah,
but they're all going to be signed, and one of them is going to be I'm going to do a head sketch. So it's actually a really good deal for retailers.
Yeah, I did a 4 bundle that I stole from Ethan Van Sciver. I did 4 where you can get 1 signed, and it's a 4-pack. They're all 4 signed. It's 1 can get a head sketch, just like you said.
I did that too. That was a good package for me. The family pack, I think was, I stole that right off of EVS. Speaking of EVS, he was in the chat earlier, says he's not feeling well, but he's about to go live.
Oh,
yeah. So I hope Ethan gets to feeling better. And he said, Doug and Mike and Mitch, all welcome on the show. So this might be an appropriate time to do a handoff.
Yeah.
Send people over to Ethan's channel, and Mike and Doug, especially if you want to hop on there. He said, you guys are both welcome. I'm going to go home. I'm in the office and I'm ready to get the heck out of here. Going to take Elizabeth home, get some dinner, all that good stuff. So this is a good moment for a handoff. Again, this is Mike Miller with Blacklist Universe, Lone Star. And what's the website?
LoneStarComic.com.
There you go.
The YouTube channel is Blacklist Universe is what you want to subscribe to.
And Doug, why don't you sell us some Bigfoot Bill, and what's your YouTube channel?
Sure. Bigfoot Bill is on Indiegogo. I have lots of bonuses that really reward the backers for coming in. The store will remain open on Friday, but I'm not doing perks. I'm going to be pulling the perks that are physical perks out, so I don't have to mail them. So if you want to get in on the deepest part of it for the same amount of money, come in by Friday. And I've got it's a book I'm very proud of. If it hits 90,000, I will go hardcover with it, and that's just going to double the value of the book.
Let's do it.
It's going to be outrageous. And it already comes with a free video game, a playable demo of Bigfoot Bill that will take, all of that time to actually make. But I'm thrilled with all my backers. Mostly I'm just thankful to them. I'm thankful to you guys for being my friends in this corner of Comicsgate, where you guys are special gentlemen. And I've known Mike for a long time, but Mitch, it's been great getting to know you too.
Likewise.
My YouTube channel is Doug Tanaple on YouTube. And I try to put out a show every day. I have great guests, and check it out. You'll see.
And my name, of course, is Mitch Breitweiser, the last comic book artist. Red Rooster, still available as an in-demand store on Indiegogo.com. So go check that out too when you have the time. I want to thank Mike Miller and Doug Tanaple and you, the chat. Just keep your heads held high, and we'll ride this storm out together. Thank you all.
Dude. This is the fun corner. We're having fun in the storm. Have fun.
That's right. And there's Art T. Bear coming in at the last second. So he's got black and white. It's up too. So I'll throw Art a bone there. Nice to see you, Art. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you, fellas.
Good night.
Thanks, Mitch.